Welcome to Little Seeds of Faith, a podcast where children help read a treasured Bible story, and we get a chance to explore and talk about the lessons we learn. Hi, my name is Joanie, and I love reading. My most treasured book to read is the Bible. The Bible has great adventures, love stories, stories of hope and truth, and most importantly, stories of faith. Hi, Ethan.
Hi.
I'm excited to have you here with me today. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about you? Like, how old are you and where are you from?
My name's Ethan, and I'm 7 years old, and I'm from West Caldwell, New Jersey. I'm really fast at running, and I could play piano, and I like soccer.
You like soccer. What position do you play in soccer?
Usually defense or offense.
I know. Yeah. Do you ever score goals?
Yes.
Yes. Is it fun to score a goal?
Yeah.
So you can run really fast, which is helpful with soccer. You play the piano and you play soccer.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Ethan. Today we are here to read a part of the Bible. And what story are we going to read together today?
Jesus' death and resurrection.
All right, we're going to read Jesus' death and resurrection. That's a really big story, isn't it? It's a very important story. Yeah, so today we're going to read from Matthew chapter 26, 27, and 28. And that's a lot of verses. So we're going to pick and choose some verses that we're going to read together. So when I read, I like to know just a little bit about what's going on. And can you help me tell what's going on before Jesus' death? Who ended up betraying him? Who's the betrayer in the story?
Judas.
Remember his name?
Judas.
Judas, that's right. And what is he betraying Jesus for? Do you remember? What tempted him a lot?
Silver.
Some silver, that's right. So some silver tempted Judas, and he is betraying Jesus. And this is a very big account to read, but it's also so important for us to read and to understand what Jesus did for us. So are you ready to read?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to start in Matthew chapter 26 at verse 36. Let's read. Then Jesus came with them to a place called Gethsemane and said to the disciples,
"Sit here while I go and pray over there."
And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and he began to be sorrowful and deeply distressed. Then he said to them,
"My soul is very sorrowful, and even to death. Stay here and watch with me."
So he went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying,
"Oh, my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will."
Then Jesus came to his disciples and found them sleeping and said to Peter,
"Wait, could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak."
Again, a second time, he went away and prayed, saying,
"Oh, my Father, if this cup cannot pass away from me unless I drink it, your will be done."
And he came and found them sleeping again, for their eyes were very heavy. So he left them, went away again, and prayed the 3rd time, saying the same words. Then he came to his disciples and said to them,
"Are you still sleeping and resting. Behold, 1 hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is being betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand.
And while he was still speaking, behold, Judas, one of the 12, with a great multitude with swords and clubs, came from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now, his betrayer had given them a sign, saying,
Whomever I kiss, he is the one, seize him.
Immediately he went up to Jesus and said,
Greetings, Rabbi.
and he kissed him, that's right. But Jesus said to Judas, what is he saying to Judas here?
My friend, why have you come?
Jesus is going on trial right now, and we're not going to read that part. So if you want to read about the trial, you can read it in Matthew and some of the other Gospels. They have about all the trials, and that's an important part. But for today, we're not going to read about the trials, okay? Mm-hmm. So we're going to skip ahead into chapter 27 now, and we're going to start at verse 27. Okay, you ready to continue?
Yeah, verse 27.
Yeah, chapter 27. Okay. So then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's residence and gathered the whole company around him. And they stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. When they had twisted a crown of thorns, they put it on his head and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed their knees before him, and they mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! Then they spat on him, took the reed, and struck him on the head. And when they had mocked him, they took off the robe, put his own clothes on him, and led him away to be crucified. And when they had come to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, place of a skull,
Jesus.
They gave him sour wine mingled with gall to drink, but when he tasted it, he would not drink. Then they crucified him and divided his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet.
They divide my garments among them, and for my clothing that they cast lots.
Sitting down, they kept watch over him there, and they put up over his head the accusation written against him.
This is Jesus, the King of the Jews.
Now, from the 6th hour until the 9th hour, there was darkness over all the land. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying,
Eli, 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 lama sabachthani. That is my God, why have you forsaken me?
And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. Now, after the Sabbath, on the first day of the week began to dawn, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake. For an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat on it.
His countenance was like lightning, and his clothing as white as snow. And the guards shook for fear of him and became like dead men.
But the angel answered the woman and said,
Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus who is crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, and as he said, come see the dead, and indeed he is going before you into Galilee. There you will see him. Behold, I have told you.
So they went out quickly from the tomb with fear and great joy, and ran to bring his disciples word that he had risen. Ooh, that was a lot to read, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, was there some big words in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you did a really good job. Thanks for helping me read. Can you tell me, what does crucified mean? What is that?
Die.
A place to die. And how, do you know how he died?
They put nails in his body and puts him on the cross.
That's right. He gets put up on a cross with nails in his hands, right? His hands and his feet. And he's there to die.
When he was risen, his hand had holes.
That's right. His hands had the holes where the nails were.
Yeah.
That is right. And so after he dies on the cross, he's taken to a tomb where there's a big rock that's rolled in front of it. And he stays in there for how long?
3 days.
3 days. And after the third day, what happens?
He gets risen from the dead.
It's a good thing, isn't it? He's risen from the dead. But why was Jesus special to be risen from the dead? What made him really special, made a special time for that?
Because that's God's son.
That's God's son, that's right. And he was sinless, right?
Yeah, he didn't sin.
He didn't sin. And so when he died, and he was raised, what does that mean for us? So Jesus died, right? And he was sinless.
Yeah.
What does that do for us, you and me?
That we should not sin.
That we should
Jesus.
be like him? Yeah, we should be like him and not sin. And he saves us, right? He gives us hope. And
be
right?
kind. And be kind.
What part of the story made you feel excited? Makes you feel excited?
When he was risen.
Yeah, I would say that is the best part of the story. When he was risen, for sure. And Jesus had faith in this, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that he had lots of faith?
Because he gave up his life for all of us.
Yeah. And he trusted that God would raise him, right?
Yeah.
So do you have a time in your life where you had to have lots of faith or trust in God, or you had to be extra courageous?
Yeah. Is when I sprained my leg. And he gave me strength to walk.
How did you sprain your leg?
We went to a place that had trampolines, and 2 people weren't supposed to be on one. So when I got off one, my dad went on it, but I came back on, and I bounced it so high I landed on my leg. And it hurt.
Dear. I bet that hurt. And I bet it was scary.
Yeah, and it was sprained for 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Did you have to have crutches?
Yeah. Why was Jesus dead for 3 days?
Okay, that's a good question to ask, and I think it's really good for people to think about. And if they ask their parents, or they can contact us and give us their answers to that question. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And then can you tell me, before we say goodbye, tell me your joke.
Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side?
To get to the other side. That is a very good classic joke. Well, thank you, Ethan, so much for reading with me today. It's a really important story for us to read together, and I had a lot of fun. Did you have a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. I hope this podcast planted a little seed of faith in your heart today. If you would like to read with me, email us at littleseeds at wcfoundation.org.
Did you know that some of our outreach programs help those in financial, medical, and emotional crisis? Bad things happen in the lives of many. We believe in helping those who have stumbled. This includes assisting in the cost of emergency medical procedures, help to those who have lost employment, or those facing a sudden challenge due to emotional difficulties. If you would like to donate, please visit wcfoundation.org and look for the link Invest in Faith.